Hey guys, it's Sasha. Next week is going to be 1 year since I released the first video on this channel. It feels like it's been a lot longer and I've learned a lot along the way, but looking back, it has been a crazy, really interesting journey. Now in this video, I want to talk about a few different things that I'm working on. I want to make a few really important announcements just so that people are aware of what's going on, and I want to talk to you about my plans. If this does not sound interesting to you, if you want to just watch stuff about personal finance, then make sure you don't continue watching and you skip to the next video. And I've got one coming up very shortly after this one. But anyway, for anyone who is interested, over the last 12 months, I have learned a huge amount. I feel like I have a really long way to go still, but when I go back and look at some of my very first videos, I am seeing there's been definitely some progress made. So I am happy on that front. I previously spoke about my plans about moving into doing YouTube full time, and given how things have progressed over the last few months, they have moved faster than I anticipated. And so my timeline is also moving faster, and that's where I wanted to start. I'm currently in the process of closing out a few last remaining things to do with some of my previous work and previous businesses that I've been running, but that I think will probably conclude over the next couple of weeks. And at the end of March, I think I'm gonna be done, probably. And my expectation that from that point, I'm gonna be going 100% full speed on YouTube. And it's kind of both exciting and really scary at the same time. Now, next, I really want to talk about something that is really new on this channel. I am really grateful to everyone who has subscribed to this channel, everyone who watches my videos. It is far beyond where I thought I could really ever get to when I was first starting out, and it means a lot. It means I can spend more time producing better content, producing more content, and I have been trying to do that over the last few weeks by upping the quality of the information, upping the quantity at the same time. It also means that as I'm going into this YouTube thing full time and I want to do it really well, I'm going to be investing a lot more in this channel in lots of different ways. Now, I've just opened up one way for anyone who wants to support this channel and support me on this journey, support me on this transition, support me with being able to do this work. And I've just opened up channel memberships. This is a new thing for me. It's been around on YouTube for a little while. If you're watching YouTube on desktop, you'll notice a little join button next to the subscribe button. This is a way for you to be able to sign up to a membership on this channel. You can't see it on mobile if that's where you're watching, so don't look for it there. But there are two tiers available at the moment. There is the espresso tier, which is one of these, and there is a T tier membership as well, and that's my big orange cup. I don't have it nearby, but at the moment these are really basic. As it stands, I don't have any fixed benefits with either tier, and there's a reason for it. I wanted to figure out how many people are actually interested, what kind of content will those people actually be interested in watching. So talk to them through dedicated chat that is available to people who are members. And I do have a plan to go and produce some interesting stuff specifically for people who are subscribed. But I didn't want to commit to something that maybe then I'd want to change, because YouTube doesn't allow you to change things afterwards, to take things out once you're committed to doing them. So I wanted to make sure that I start as low as possible and then kind of build it up. But just for anyone who doesn't want to sign up, don't worry at all. There's going to be no advertising of this, no pressure. All the content that I'm going to be putting out on this channel will continue being on this channel completely for free. I'm not even going to be really selling or advertising this membership thing beyond this video, maybe the occasional very rare mention. So don't worry about that, but I just wanted to make this announcement so that anyone who is interested, now you know that this option is there. Now, for down the line, I'm going to open up a bunch of extra perks, and there's going to be probably some additional benefits as the channel grows, like for example, bespoke chat and stuff like that. As it stands, I'm just not big enough for some of those perks to really have enough value to people. So I think the value of each of those membership tiers is probably going to be growing quite a bit over time. Next, let me quickly cover what I'm going to be doing with this channel in terms of topics. If you've been here for a while, if you saw some of my content from way back when, you might have noticed a gradual change in the kind of things that I'm talking about. I started out, most of my content was probably talking about sort of credit cards and building credit and those kind of topics. Then I progressed, and a lot of my content was talking about challenger banks and lots of these new kind of fintech companies which are not quite banks and all that stuff. And then I kind of progressed to talking a lot about investing. And in between, I've been talking about passive income, other personal finance topics, all kinds of wonderful stuff. I was testing a bunch of things. But some of this has been part of an intentional strategy. And, I'm open to saying this because if I jumped straight into some of the more competitive niches, some of the topics that more people are interested in, I would have just drowned. I was really bad at making YouTube videos. I was new to the whole, talking to people on camera. I just didn't know what I was doing. And so I wouldn't have been able to grow my channel at all if I jumped in right at the deep end. So that was partly strategic, but partly there was actually a reason because of what's been happening. So last year, especially in the middle of the year, there was a lot of focus, a lot of attention on challenger banks. There was new banks launching new propositions. There was a lot of discussion about it. A lot of people were really interested. And so that naturally felt like the place where I was focusing a lot of my attention as well. But since January, that kind of industry really dried up. I've really been trying to find things to talk about. I keep on the lookout. I keep on top of all the news, but there isn't very much, if I'm honest, to cover that people would actually find interesting. But at the same time, the world of investing has grown massive and it's just exploded this year. There's scandals, there's stocks that are going crazy, everything, millions of people signing up for new accounts. So I thought that, well, seeing as this is where a lot of the attention is, so I've been talking more about it partly for that reason as well. However, don't get me wrong, my intent is absolutely not to just go and focus on one thing, because I think that'll probably limit me and it'll probably limit the value that I'll be able to give to people, especially based on some of the background that I have in the financial services industry. I want to cover as broad a range of personal finance topics and products as possible to provide the most value in the long term. So I'm going to continue talking about different topics and issues as there is stuff to talk about, as there is news coming out of some of these spaces. So don't think that I've forgotten. But a lot of the topics, a lot of the things that I come across, a lot of the things that I get in terms of ideas for videos that I make come from comments, come from people reaching out, come from people asking me questions. And sometimes it's the same question being asked lots. Sometimes it's just one question that I see and I'm like, oh man, how did I not talk about this in the video? And so a lot of my videos actually come from suggestions. So if there is specific stuff that you think should be talked about, please go ahead and ask, especially if it's something very topical, especially if it's something that, other people haven't really mentioned much before. So make sure you go in there and leave a comment if you're interested in more topics on any of my recent videos. I read all the comments, not just on the most recent videos, and I try to reply to all of them, although I'm coming to this point where replying to comments is literally taking me hours per day. So I am doing the best I can, but I may not be able to continue doing this, and this is where the memberships are going to come in, because it allows you to prioritize answering comments of people who are members, which unfortunately is probably something I'm going to have to begin doing at some point in the future, although I'll still try to answer as many as I possibly can. But anyway, recently, I've also done something. I've started a second channel. It is called the Sasha Yanshin Story, and that channel had a mix of different topics. It was talking about blogging, it was talking about YouTube, it was talking about building an online business, and a lot of other things in between. And the issue I had was it was too broad a thing. So while to me it was all the same package as my online business, and I felt maybe some of the people would feel the same, because the topics were so disjointed and were targeting very different audiences, the channel's really been floundering. So to resolve that, I've been doing a few things. So first off, I'm actually taken off the link from this channel. So in this channel, if you click on the channels tab, there used to be a link to my other channel. I've taken it off because I don't want people to go and subscribe to that channel just because they're interested in this one, because the two are so different. And that's what I've been having a lot of. I think a lot of my subscribers on that channel are not really interested in the topics that I talk about, but they're subscribed anyway because they're already subscribed in this one. So if you're one of those people and you are not interested in what I'm about to tell you this new channel is going to be about, make sure you actually go over there and unsubscribe. It will actually help me, because having subscribers who are not interested in your content and who don't watch your content is worse than not having subscribers in the first place. This is something definitely that I've learned, and I have a lot of examples in my own journey that show that this is the case. But anyway, I'm also going to be narrowing it down. So instead of talking about all of those things, I'm going to be talking much more specifically focused on my YouTube journey. So I'm going to be talking about growing on YouTube and what that brings, and all the things that come with it, and some specific lessons that I've learned. And although that sounds very cliche, there are some really good reasons why I'm doing that. I think I have a slightly different perspective to maybe some of the other channels that talk about these kind of topics, but also almost every other channel that talks about growing on YouTube, their main channel is the channel that talks about growing on YouTube. And so that creates a really weird vertex, whereas for me, my main channel is going to be this one. My main channel is going to be talking about personal finance, and I can see that channel growing considerably faster and more than my second channel. But what that does mean is that maybe people who are interested in building their own YouTube channel will get a more real life example of how these things work or don't work, and some of the learnings from a real channel that is kind of in a normal niche rather than a channel that talks about building a channel, if you understand what I mean. So once again, if you are subscribed to that channel but you don't want to watch that stuff, make sure you go and subscribe. But if you aren't, but you do want to learn about YouTube and you want to build your own YouTube channel, for example, make sure that you do go and check it out. You have to go and search for it. Anyway, I think that's all about I have for this update. Once again, if anyone wants to support this channel, make sure you go and check out the membership option on desktop. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next video.